What it is, it's your boy True McFadden, aka Durag True, with True Be Talking. And in this episode, I gotta give my prediction for the Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. rematch. Hey yo! I said, hey yo! Yo, we got another good one this weekend, man. I told y'all, bro, November is packed full of good fights. This one is no different. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. This is a rematch to a fight that they had earlier back in April of this year. Earlier this month, I put out a video just talking about all the fights we have coming up this month that I was going to be talking about. And of course, this was one of those fights. I did say in that video, though, that I didn't think the fight needed a rematch. Because from what I remembered, and I didn't really remember the fight, but just based off what I remember, I felt like Chris Eubank Jr. may have won the fight, pretty handily. And then I went back and I just looked at the scores. At that time, I looked at the scores. It was like the score, he won by unanimous decision, 116 to 112. But of course, like I always do, I go back and watch fights. For this fight, I only went back and watched the original. I went back and watched the first fight. I didn't watch any other fights from either fighter, just the one where they fought each other. And I gotta say, man, then I remembered that score being really fucking ridiculous. Like, that fight was a lot closer than 116-112, right? The fact that they scored it 116-112 and nobody received a knockdown, right? Neither fighter got knocked down. And honestly, Conor Benn hurt Chris Eubank Jr. more than, Chris hurt Conor Benn. So, and that was obvious in the fight. Like, when I went back and watched it, that was real obvious. So scoring at 116-112 is ridiculous. That fight could have went either way. I honestly think it should have been a draw. It should have been a draw. But, they gave it to Chris Eubank Jr. Not sure what fight they were looking at, but 116-112, like I said, it was just a ridiculous score. What I did notice in that first fight, though, because both of these guys, their weight was kind of an issue because Conor Benn was coming up in weight to fight Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. was coming down in weight. So they're both of them physically may have been a little off. But what I did notice is that Conor Benn was hitting Chris Eubank Jr. with some really good shots, some good solid punches. And Eubanks wasn't getting out the way, and that's how he was getting hurt. A lot of times when those punches did affect him, that's how he was getting hurt, is because Conor Benn was tagging his ass and he was catching him coming on the inside. Conor Benn, he showed good movement in that fight, good head movement, good body movement. Chris Eubank Jr., when I think one thing that he did have an advantage over, he was beating Conor Benn to the punch a lot of times. So a lot of time when Conor Benn was getting ready to come in with something, Chris Eubank Jr. would catch him with something, and that would throw off his rhythm. Eubank Jr. also threw a lot of good combinations. And that also kind of helped him, look a little better in that fight as well. In the first fight, though, just like I said, I just went back and watched it. I didn't see a lot of separation between the two. But what's going to make the rematch interesting is the fact that, like I said, they both were dealing with issues of weight, more than likely. Well, neither one of them has fought since that fight. Both of them have basically just been training leading up to the rematch. Who's going to have the advantage there? I'm honestly not sure. One thing that I am looking for is Conor Benn. Will he basically training with the more weight added on? Was he able to add that to his power? You know what I'm saying? Was he able to keep his speed and maybe get more power behind his punches coming into the rematch? Because if so, there's going to be a major difference in this fight. Because I do think he has the ability to hit Chris Eubank Jr. when he needs to, where he needs to. It's just if he's going to have the power that he'll need to maybe stop him or slow him down or make Chris Eubank think twice about, whatever game plan he has. Chris Eubank, of course, he's gonna have to figure out how to get stronger and faster with the weight coming down in weight. Hopefully, we'll get to see how the weight, or basically both of them just training for this fight. Like I said, both of them been training for this the whole year since April for just for this rematch, because neither one of them have fought again. So this is going to be a really good fight. The rematch is going to be really dope. The first time they fought, there was, like I said, it was really hard to score that fight. For one thing, it was a really good back and forth fight. They both at some point hurt the other. So when it came to the punches, when it came to punch selection, they both were making those in-fight adjustments. You could tell that they were both adjusting to what the other one was doing during the fight. And that fight ended up going to the cards. And like I said, Eubank Jr. ended up with the win with the 116-112 unanimous decision. Still one of the craziest decisions ever. But at the end of it all, with all that said, with knowing what we're looking at coming into this, first of all, this is going to be a really great fight. I don't think we're going to make it to the cards on this one, on the rematch. I don't see this one going the distance. It's honestly shocking that the first one made it to the cards. Like, just watching that fight while I was watching it again and just thinking like, damn, they actually made it to the last bell in this motherfucking fight. Just even watching it again and being like, damn, like they really made it to the last bell in this fight. So the first one was it was a slugfest. I don't see this one going any different. But I do, for my prediction though, my prediction for this fight, for the rematch, I do see the outcome going a little different. I do have Conor Benn winning the rematch, and I have Conor Benn winning the rematch by knockout. I think he will be able, like I said, if he was able to train and get his power to come along with that weight, he was able to keep his speed, he's able to keep his accuracy, and he still has, he's still going to be doing all his movement and everything, his good defense that he was showing in that first fight. I got a feeling Conor Benn will win this one. Definitely it'll be, and like I said, I don't think anybody's making it to the last bell. I don't think this one's making it to the last bell. Whoever wins is definitely going to win by stoppage. But in my mind, just based off what I saw in that first fight, I felt like Conor Benn landed some of the stronger punches. He definitely had Eubank Jr. hurt about 3 or 4 times in the fight. Eubanks probably had him, hurt a couple times, but it was definitely, you could definitely tell Conor Benn was possibly landing some of the stronger punches. So in this rematch, I see Conor Benn still landing some of the bigger punches, but I see those punches taking a real toll on Eubank Jr. and I see Conor Benn winning this by knockout. Of course, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you're picking, who you're picking for this one. Like, this is another good fight, next big fight of the month before we get to the ring 4. And this is definitely going to be a good one, bro. It's going to be a real good one. So let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hey man, it's your boy Durag True, and I'm out this bitch.